Hi, this is Shankar, and today I'm going to talk about a very peculiar thing which is happening in the transit. Going to happen is about five planets which are there in Capricorn. So I would call it Capricorn shouts. Capricorn is also represented by sea goat, and so I say the sea goat uh, is going to rule a lot of things for the next 15 20 days, and a lot of things can happen in the next 3 days. And we have Venus at 0 degree, Mars at 0 degree, Moon at 4 degrees, Mercury at 20 degrees, and Saturn at 24 degrees. A very, very peculiar thing. Mars and Venus together at 0 degrees would show that people, it is a brain of dacoity. It is also the brain of scheming. It is also the brain of planning. So, a lot of things people will do because Mars's debilitation sign is Cancer, and when it is in Capricorn, it has a particular impact of Cancer in it, which I have researched is of Rahu as well as Saturn. Capricorn has a kind of a impact of Rahu and Saturn. It has an impact of debilitated Jupiter in it. It has an impact of exalted Mars in it. Mars is exalted there anyway, and the most important thing is a debilitated Jupiter. The Capricorn sign has got an impact of debilitated Jupiter, which is peculiar. But Saturn being there will control things to some extent. So what will happen is that a lot of things are going to happen for the better, uh, but with a lot of negativities attached to it, a lot of things which would not, which would be like, you would think, what is it this is happening. There would be cynical people taking wrong decisions. There would be people, just shouting out, or groups of people shouting out or putting their brains out. There would be a lot of scheming and planning which would happen. And Mercury being there is a planet which is a very unpredictable planet, and Mercury is going to also shout its way into, sometimes it will go and help Saturn and say, okay, Saturn, I'm your friend, let's go ahead. Sometimes it will go and favor Venus and say, what is important is the economy. Sometimes it will favor Mars, it will go against Mars, where it will start, saying that let us scheme things negatively. So Mercury is a planet which plays roles. It's like a boy. It doesn't know what is right, and it doesn't know what is wrong. It goes and goes and camps with the right and wrong people and making things happen. So in such a combination, and without going into too much of details, whenever Mercury is there with Saturn, it may solidify Saturn, it may tell Saturn to move in a powerful way. So I feel by the end of 30 to 40 days, things would stabilize. But between 30 to 40 days, there would be a lot of cynicism which will be there. There will be a break in partnerships, both at the personal level and at the, when I'm talking about the countries in nature. In the world, there will be break in partnerships. There would be, kind of, the planet Rahu is going to be very important. So out of the box things, scheming, planning, thinking years ahead. Now these things would be positive in a way, in which we have written, where very little less, less kind of less. Uh, mm, uh, very less, what is the right word I can use, a very less amount of wisdom will be there. People would put wisdom to one aside, long term perspective to one side, the religious teachings to one side, philosophy to one side, what is right and wrong which has been told over a period of years on one side. And what they will do is basically putting this on one side. What will rule is materialism. What will rule is planning. I would say planning towards materialism, planning towards pomp and show, planning towards deceit. And that is how I see the world moving in the next, that is what planet says things will move in the next 30 to 45 days. And this would also be a thing in the individual charts. Individuals in the next 2.5 days would feel very, down, not understanding what to do, having various mood swings. Clarity will not be there. Some may call it that they are thinking, some may call it whatever it is, whatever word you can give it to that. Some would say depressed, some would say I'm hyper anxiety. Being too much of anxiety is a sign of depression itself. So those kinds of things would be there in case of relationships, in case of affairs. There would be, like, sudden jump into relationships. people suddenly breaking relationships will happen in the next 1 month or so. Planning would be very big, but then it will all depend on the individual chart that those plannings would be right or wrong. I would request individuals not to get into the realm of deceit, in the realm of kind of thinking out of the box. Please apply wisdom. That would be lacking in a very big way in the next till about April. So internationally in the world those things will happen, and I know they're going to happen, but in individual my only thing is, please take care, please be wise, please think of the seers, please think of your teachings, please think of the positive things of your religion, and decide your you know future ahead. And this is also mainly for those youngsters which are there, boys, the Mars and Mercury rates the boys, they should be careful and keep your mind stable. Thanks and bye for now. This is Shankar signing out. You can contact me at connectingminds@gmail.com. I'm there on the Facebook, I'm there on Insta, Twitter. You can also I have a blog. You can see that. Shankarstudy.com is my astrology site. I have a lot of books published through Sagar Publication, Prabha Publications. I do astrology as a hobby. I don't charge for it. I try to tell things which I have learned. I hardly see any charts because I don't have the time, and then you need a connect to see the chart. Any chart which you need to see, it takes me about 3 to 4 days. Think over it, mull over it, sit over it, and sit for hours, and then look at, and then you come to some conclusions. That's the way I see charts. It takes a long time, so that's what it is. And I believe that someday I would start charging for it, because kind of mails I get, about thousands of mails per day, so it's growing very difficult for me even to say no, and a lot of pressures and counter pressures. But do give me some time. I do try to answer very genuine people who are into genuine problems. I do answer and reply to them. Thanks and bye for now. Thank you. This is Shankar signing out. Thanks. Thank you.